Dudes, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the 64 bug and we're going to show you how to install some off-road mirrors. So this video is actually sponsored by Christian Union right here. He was kind enough to buy these for me as a gift. I didn't even know he was getting these. He surprised me with them, so thank you. He also bought us some harnesses for the bug. You can kind of see a glimpse of them right there. But we're going to be doing a video. Yeah, dog! We're going to be doing a video on how to install those as well and show you how to install them in something like this or something like that. So that'll be its own dedicated video as well. But this one we're going to start off with the mirrors. These are from Kartek right here. Our boy Tyler over there sent these out to us. Repping too. Christian and I are actually twins today. Beanie and Kartek hoodies, I guess. But these were made by Kartek. This is their 6-inch flat mirror and then just their Baja Bug mirror setup. So like usual, we've already installed this side just to get everything down, and we're going to walk you through how to do the other side. To install these things, what we're using is these nutserts right here. So we'll drill a hole in the door and then we'll press those in, and that just allows us to have a threaded nutsert in the door so we can thread a bolt through it. So we're just using M5 bolts to go with it. And to press the nutserts in, we're using this Matco Tools gun. Our buddies Cameron and Mason have their own Matco businesses, so we like to support them and they like to support us, so that's why we're using Matco Tools. Alright guys, so here's the setup. This is what you're going to get from Kartek or whatever kind of off-road style mirror you're running. So you're going to get the actual frame itself with all the holes for your bolts, and then you're going to get the mirror separate. Like I said, this is the 6-inch flat one, so they're nice enough to put it in some bubble wrap for you to protect it. Pull that out. It's in another package. Tyler's not messing around, man. Tyler's got this, got the bag secured. Open this thing up. Whoa! Try not to drop it. So this is what's going to come with it as well. What's cool about this is they actually give you a tab, and that's to mount maybe a light off of in the future if you want to run one off your mirror. So they just give you that option, but we're not going to be running that since we're not going to run a light, so we're going to pull that tab off and not use it. So that's basically what's going to come with your order. So now we'll just talk about mounting the mirror to the actual door and how to align everything. Alright, so the basic things when you're mounting this is that you want to just kind of mock it up here and just check all your body lines and make sure everything's looking good. So like you'll match this body line right here. Down here there's a body line, so we want this gap to be consistent right here. And then also on the inside, you want things to kind of be consistent as well. That way it just looks the best, so you don't look at it and you're like, what were we doing here? Like it's like all legit. But what's cool about these is that they won't just fit on the bug. We were actually mocking up on this truck in the Ranger as well, 93 Ranger, and it happened to line right up. So if we wanted to, we could just mount a set right here and it'd work on this truck too. So these are kind of universal, but they are dedicated for the bug, but you could probably mount it to something else as well. You're still going?
Yeah, dude.
So how Christian and I were doing this on that side, it actually took 2 people. That makes it a way easier.
way easier, dude.
Not just way easier, like you don't even have to be looking at it. Like. So we were holding this thing up, getting it to where we wanted it, and then one of us was holding it while the other one was getting this punch right here and going and putting it just in the center of the hole and going till it clicks, and that way it'll leave a little divot in this and you know where to drill your hole. And we're just using a step up sort of system to drill the holes. We started with this little bit, went to the bigger one, and then on the drill right here went to the biggest size, and this size is just big enough to fit this nutsert. So once you get it drilled out, this nutsert should go in perfectly all the way. And then what the tool does is it actually expands it, so you can see it's kind of like if you're familiar with lug nuts, it has those knurled edges like the lug nuts. So once it's pressed in there and it's expanded with inside the hole, this will actually lock it in place. So once you put a bolt through it and tighten it, this thing's not going to spin inside there. It should be held in place. So that's what's nice about these. It's a little bit better than just using like a self-tapping screw, because if you're ever to take it off, you don't just have holes, you have these little shells, which isn't as bad. You're still going to have kind of an ugly little couple holes, but it's not as bad as using a self-tapping screw. So since we're using these M5 bolts right here, they're actually a little too big for the frame itself, so we got to drill this out a little bit. So we're just using a bit and drilling it out, and then I went through with the grinder on the back side of the other one, because once you drill through it, there's a little bit of an edge on the back side, so I ground that flat. That way this thing can sit completely flat on the door. So first step is going to be drilling that out so we can actually mock it up on there and get things marked up. take a look. This one's not too bad, but you can see there is a little bit of an edge right there. So that's what's it's gonna have to get ground down. That way it can sit completely flat. So drill these out, then we'll get to marking it.
How close are you?
It's like maybe
it's right there.
3/8.
I think I got it right here. Come
3/16.
look at that one and then come look at this.
This was like 3/16.
To here?
So Christian and I just mocked this one up. It took a couple times going to that side and checking all the gaps and then coming back to this one, but we think we got it. So now we're using the punch. And the trick with this is, if you can see it, there's a little bit of wiggle room in there, or a lot. So you just try and get it in the center of the hole and then you push. With this one, it's kind of a spring, so you push in. Once you get far enough, it'll click and it'll actually put a little divot in the metal. So we're gonna do one at a time, start here and then just work our way around. And that way, doing them one at a time, it ensures us that they're all gonna fit, so we don't just do them all at once, then one could be off. And then if one's off just a little bit, we could be screwed. So just doing one at a time just helps out to prevent that from happening. Couple clicks, got our little divot. Now it's time to drill the hole and get the nutsert in.
Dude, not the fresh paint.
Watch the fresh paint, dog. So, might need to get a little bit nicer. Oh, there we are. So it slides right in. So with these nutserts, you want a little bit of wiggle room in there. And I'm gonna let Christian explain why.
So with this nutsert tool, what you want to do is, when you drill the hole for the nutsert itself, you want to leave a little bit of room in the hole, make it a little bit bigger, because when the nutsert goes in there, you want just enough play for it to move back and forth. And the reason behind that is the way the gun works is there's just a stud that you thread your nutsert onto, just like that. And when you open the handles, you can thread it on a little bit more. And when you actually, I'm not gonna do it because we only have a certain amount of these nutserts, but when you push these in, you push the handles together, it shortens the distance here, it pulls the threads in on the tool, and it mushrooms out the nutsert. So on the back side of the sheet metal, when you push this in and crimp the handles together, it kind of balloons up the nutsert behind the sheet metal. So when you have a little bit of wiggle room in the hole, what that's doing is allowing the balloon to get a little bit bigger and give a little bit more surface area on the back side of the sheet metal, so you have a nice tight fit, and this thing will never spin inside of your sheet metal when you're tightening something into it.
So to install this, first step is going to be threading this guy on, and you want to kind of find what works best for your situation. We found that just see how the threads actually flush with the nutsert. We go a little bit, back it off a little bit. We found that that works best for this, because when you actually compress it, it'll bevel out the metal a little bit. So you want to minimize that, but you still want to get that good fit. So we found that this works best for us. You're just going to have to kind of figure it out for your situation. So you press her in there, get it locked in, and when you're pushing this thing, pushing the handles together, you want to be pushing in so the nutsert doesn't back out. You want to make sure you're level, you're not all crooked and cockeyed. So you just want to have that all good, and you want to be washing it while you're actually moving the handles together. So just like that, and once you let the handles apart, you can actually manipulate it and move the threads if you need to, if they're off for whatever reason. But from there, you just loosen the threads from this little knob on the back side. And just like that, you got a nutsert installed on your door. So now that we have a nutsert installed, we can mock the mirror frame back up. So we'll just get this aligned. Get that threaded in there. And then what I like to do is I'll get an Allen and I'll tighten it, and you can see there is a little bit of play in here, so I want to get it in the center of that, just in case one of the other holes is a little bit off. You can move it around a little bit. So having it in the center gives you some adjustability down the road. So just find kind of where it's in its center, tighten it up, make sure the angle and gaps all the same how you wanted it, and just get it tight so it'll hold itself in place. And then from here, we'll just grab the punch and we'll mark another one. And like I said, we're going one by one. So just mark the other one and do the rest. We'll just throw on a time lapse and show you the rest of them. So now that we got all the nutserts in and got the mirror bolted back up, we can put the actual mirror itself on. That's just going to be a 1/2 inch bolt. And on the back here, there's 3 little screws. If you loosen those set screws, you'll actually be able to wiggle the mirror. Once those are tight, this thing's locked in place, which is what's nice about this, is if you hit some bumps, this thing's not going to move out of whack like stock mirrors would. That's why a lot of off-road dudes run something like this. So to put that in, you literally just hold it up and thread this guy in. I'm just putting it hand tight for now because we got to paint these. But just like that, and then you can get in and adjust them and then tighten these screws to where you'd like them. But that's basically the mirror installation. So now that we got both mirrors mounted, it's time to paint them. The install is complete, but we're just going to go that extra step so these things don't get all rusty. We're going to be coating these with our favorite product right here, Steel It. We've talked about this many times. It's literally just stainless steel in a can. So if we ever wanted to weld something to the mirror for some reason or anything else, be able to weld right through this. We actually just did it the other day, and you can weld right through this pretty easily. But this is going to be cool because the Steel It silver actually matches with a bunch of the different little accents that we have on the car. Like the harnesses that we're doing are the silver with the kind of black latch. So that's going to match the silver mirror with the black actual mirror itself. And then I've already done Steel It on a few other things. Like I did these, which is just small. You don't really notice it, but it cleans things up. Did the license plate mount, and then did the valve covers as well. So I've just been using this a lot on little accents, but this is going to be the trick for doing the mirrors. So we're going to get these pulled off, get them hung, and then actually paint them. So that's going to wrap it up on the install video for these mirrors. Like I said, these are from Kartek. The link's going to be in the description. So go check those out if you have a bug that you want to throw these on, or go check out their other mirrors so you can throw it on something like an F-150 or a Ranger. But that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.